Welcome to ATAR exam preparation course. Okay, today we're going to do this question 20 on QCAA External Assessment Paper 2020, Paper 1. So this question is complex, unfamiliar. So we have a stage. We have two stages of the tree to grow. The tree is shape is a cylinder. So first stage, stage 1, it is so at the end of stage 1 is the height is 5 meters. So stage 1, the h is 5 meters. So I'm going to use the same units. We might convert to 400 cm because we look at the unit of the radius is centimeters. So we make sure both is the same unit. And the radius, which is R, is 15 cm. So we make sure those two together, same unit. So that's a stage 1. Stage 2, that the height is unchanged. So if you look at growth, the height is still the same. If you look at the this sentence. So next 10 years, that tree stays the same height. So still 500 centimeters, but the radius unknown. So the radius, we don't know what's the radius, but we know the growth. So there's a rate of growth for the radius. Is using this formula called little it, so that's a rate 1.5 plus sine pi over 5t. So that's the formula for the growth rate. So this is a given the information. So we need to find out what is the mass, stage 1 mass. So we call M1 divided by stage 2 mass. So let's solve that question. So step by step, let's solve. So let's find the mass stage 1. So mass is, according to the formula, mass is, density formula is 1 gram per cubic centimeter. So therefore, if we find the mass, we need to find the density for the volume. So we need a volume first. So let's do volume. So let's do V1 first. So V1, so stage 1, volume 1 is equal to, according to this is the cylinder. If it's a cylinder, so we know the pi, so the cylinder is pi r squared times by h. So pi r is radius is 15 squared times by height 400. So the end up to, so we got the answer is leave the pi for a moment, 112,500 pi centimeter cubic centimeter. So that's a stage 1. So therefore, my mass, because of 1 cubic centimeter equates to 1 kilograms. So the mass will be same, 112,400 pi gram. So that's the first stage, mass 1. So now we're going to do mass 2. So what is mass 2? Mass 2, we know the height is same, hasn't changed, but we don't know what the radius is. So we call radius, so we might say the radius is the trunk grow in the second stage. So the radius is because of rates of change. So if you look at here, rates of change. So if you find the rate, will be the integration of the rates of change in relation with respect to time. So I'm going to do the integration. Substitute 1.5 times by sine pi over 5t with respect to time. So let's do the integration. Okay, 1.5t. Then now sine integrated sine become negative. But instead of pi, so we need to equal 5 over pi. Sine become cosine pi over 5t plus c. So that's my formula, but we need to decide what a c is. So here's the question mark. C, what is a c? So let's substitute. So we know so in order to find the c, so we need to decide the initial radius. So we know the second stage initial radius. So that means the initial radius when t equal to 0 was 15 centimeters. So we substitute into the radius formula. So it will be 15 equal to 1.5 times by 0 minus 5 pi cosine pi over 5 times by 0, which is 0, plus c. So now that's give us 15, so that's 0, negative 5 pi over 5 pi over pi, 5 over pi. Cosine 0 is 1, so therefore that's a c. So the answer C, we will get 15 plus 5 over pi. So now we got a radius for the trunk, second stage is 1.5t according to the time. I cosine I over 5t plus 15 plus 5 over pi. So that's my formula for the radius based on time. So now we're going to substitute the two values. So we substitute t. So when the time equal to, so try 10 years later. So because the second stage time is, so at second stage time is 10 years. So therefore we're going to put R10, substitute into the formula. We will get, let me start a new line here. So I, when times 10, so it'll be 1.5 times by, so it'll be 15 minus pi times by cosine, so it'll be 2 pi plus 15 plus 5 over pi. So that one, cosine 2 pi, which will be equal to, so the here, the 1, so the answer will be So those two be cancelled. So the answer will be 30. All right, so now we're going to substitute. So therefore the volume, the second stage, volume is pi r0, r10 square times by the height, which is still same, we substitute. So it'll be 30 squared times by height is same, hasn't changed, 400. So the answer will be 450,000 pi. Cubic centimeters. So therefore the M2 will be 450,000 pi gram. So we got two M's, so therefore M1, the ratio between M1 and M2, actually the second stage on the top. So we put an N2 on the top, M1 on the bottom, so we substitute 450,000 pi divided by 112,000 400 pi. So that's equal to 4. So the ratio of the here is quadrilateral, so which is quadrupled. So 4 times the mass increase. So that's it. That's the solution for the ratio. So that tree grow, the mass is 4 times than the initial mass. Stage 1, stage 2. Okay, so that's the answer for this question 20, complex unfamiliar. Hope you liked the video. If you do, can you give us thumbs up and don't forget subscribe the channel so you get the latest video. I'll see you next time.